G'day folks, it's Cortezerino, and it's finally time. We have outgrown the starter base. It's time to build our castle. I promised a castle, but I promised that a month ago, and I change my mind every 5 minutes. We are still going to do a castle, but I've come up with some crazy idea. What if Mont Saint-Michel was in Star Wars? And what does that mean exactly, Mont Saint-Michel in Star Wars? Well, I don't know, really. It just means I'm going to build something in that general shape, but we're going to do it in the theme of Star Wars buildings. But the first thing we need to do is find a base location, and as you can see, I've got myself a little bit of flight here, and that wasn't too hard to figure out. So my first thought was to make a creeper farm at the spawn village to get all the gunpowder I need for my rockets. They are selling rockets at the village, but I certainly can't afford it. I've spent nearly all my diamonds. I got 2 left. So I decided to do a witch farm instead because I could throw this together super quick, and I found an excellent location for it. This witch hut was right on the edge of the ocean, so when it came to spawn-proofing the little bit of ground around it that I needed to, all I had to do was dig out a bit of the low-lying swamp area, and we were all good. And that is my design for a witch farm, and I've got a tutorial for that one. You've probably seen it before, but I'll link it in the video description if you want to check it out. And I've set it up the same way I set it up on the Evermore server, so we don't have to go down there to get our goodies. All the goodies come up the water stream, and we're keeping these 4 useful items, and anything that isn't one of them, like spider eyes and water bottles, just continues on to the lava. And the cool thing about this, if we press F3 and G and bring up our chunk borders, you can see everything I've got here, like my AFK spot and the item sorters, all of those are outside of the chunk that the witch hut's in. So the witch hut's in that chunk over there, and that way there's nothing above it and nothing that's going to decrease the spawn rates. But enough of that. This episode is not about witch huts. This is about the new starter base. The new base. The new area. And I did a little bit of flying around, and it's actually surprisingly hard in this seed to find the right kind of island, a good size, and I didn't find exactly what I was looking for. I found something completely different from what I was looking for, but it was kind of cool. I'll show you what I mean. And here we are, guys, at my new island, my new base. Have you got any idea what it could be? That's right, a mushroom island. And if you're wondering why it looks a little bit unusual, that's because the first thing I did when I got here was chop down all the ugly mushrooms. I can't stand those things. So yeah, I wasn't looking for a mushroom island at all, but it was getting very hard to find a good island. And this one was the perfect size, and when I saw it I just thought, I can do so much more with the building if I don't have to worry about spawn-proofing everything. And I thought it's kind of a Star Wars-y feel once I get rid of all this mycelium and have a nice base city in here. It'd be kind of cool to have all... Ooh, don't fall down there. It'd be kind of cool to have all these icebergs floating around. It's unusual, and the other good thing about this area, which kind of sealed the deal, I need to make my own shop pretty soon because I'm spending all my diamonds. There's so much cool stuff to buy, and there is something over here. I'm not going to be able to find it, am I? Have I even gone in the right direction? Anyway, we're probably not going to find it. Over here somewhere is an ocean monument. So I thought, yes, I'll set up a little farm and we will start selling sea lanterns. But we're not doing that today. So I want to get onto this build very quickly if I can and get myself some diamonds coming in. The other thing I'm in desperate need of is a villager trading hall. My armor and all my enchantments are absolutely ridiculous. It's terrible for this stage of the game. But I can't get onto either of those yet because if I start building the Guardian Farm or a trading hall, I'm going to end up with a massive chest monster. So the first thing I should really be doing is making a storage room, and it doesn't have to be my final storage room. I'll probably set it up with some redstone, but I'll just make a smallish one to start with. And that means I have to design a building to put it in. And check this out, guys. I flew up here to talk about my plans for the island. And just over there is another ocean monument. I think that one's even closer than the one just over there. I'll probably go for the one slightly further away because no doubt I'll be using either soul sand or magma blocks, and we want to keep the lag far away if we can. But yeah, that's cool. I'm spoiled for choice now. Okay, so the plan was Mont Saint-Michel, but in Star Wars. So I guess what I'm going to do is maybe the trading hall in the middle, and then I can cover it up with some land and sort of make a big mountain in the middle. So we sort of will have a big castle in the center of the build surrounded by smaller buildings. So we're going to start with the storage room as one of the smaller buildings, and then the question is, what style of Star Wars are we talking about? Well, Star Wars, for some reason, is full of domed buildings. Like, no matter what planet you seem to go to, there's always domed buildings everywhere. So I think I'm going to just do a mixture of whatever photos I find and whatever I think looks cool and just throw them all together. But we're going to start with a Naboo-style building from which episode was it? The Phantom Menace, from that one. So it's going to be a lot of red sandstone and a domed building. So we need to design that. And I've turned the shaders on because that's how I always design my buildings. I always build them with the shaders on so I know what they're going to look like when I'm doing time lapses and stuff. So I turned them on because we come over here, and this is not my survival world, guys. I haven't entered any cheats. This is a copy of my survival world. So this isn't my first foray into domed buildings. I've got one over here in the Austrian city. And the thing with Minecraft domes I found by looking at pictures of what other people have done, to make them look good in Minecraft, you tend to always need these little sort of bracket things going around the dome, just these little sticky out bits everywhere, and they just make them look better. And I'll show you another example of ones that I've built. And some of you might remember this world. This was one I did with Curly Mally years and years ago. This was the Elven Nation. And yeah, I've got a lot of domed buildings here. I've got this one, which I kind of reused in my survival world near the ocean base. That's a super cool one. I'll probably throw something like that in somewhere in the city I'm building. Here's another great big one. And then here's a lighthouse I did, and this one actually does look really Star Wars. I wasn't trying to do that when I built it, but yeah, this is the kind of theme I'll be going with. And I think I'm going to use prismarine again for the domes, although since I don't have prismarine just yet, I think I'm going to try and use copper blocks for the dome I'm building. But as you'll notice with all of these domes, I've got these white sort of brackets going around the domes on each of these. And yeah, that's sort of how you do them in Minecraft. Well, I think these domes are a little bit pointier than what I'm probably going to go with. But anyway, let's stop showing you old domes. Let's go look at what I'm actually designing. And here we are in the world where I do all my designing of the buildings. And here's the dome I'm working on, the red sandstone dome with the copper blocks. And the first thing you'll notice is those sort of brackets on the domes are absent. So I was looking at photos of the domes on Naboo, and they don't have them. So I thought, well, can you do a good Minecraft dome without them? And you certainly can. I think these ones are looking pretty nice. So I've tried to make it as big as I can, and because we need to fit a storage room in there. So I've split the dome up into two different domes. So it just makes it look a bit more interesting, because one huge dome would get a little bit dull. So yeah, I think it's looking cool. And the other thing you'll notice is I actually started building this from the top down, so I've got no idea what the bottom of this build's going to look like yet. And you can see here I'm sort of working on a front entrance. I don't really know what I'm doing. I started a small one there, thought that looked a bit weird. I'm trying a big one here. Don't know about that either. So yeah, I haven't finished designing it. I've got a lot more to do. and that is a ridiculous amount of copper blocks, and I don't know if I'm going to actually have enough to complete this build once I finish designing it, but we'll see. Like, there's plenty in the shop, but yeah, I don't have any diamonds, so I don't know. Hopefully we'll get this built, but I might have to substitute a different block for the dome. I'm not sure. But anyway, I've got to finish designing this thing, work out what the storage room's going to look like, and then we'll get this built. Man, that shadow looks like something out of Five Nights at Freddy's. And so the chest monster begins. Did you know, Mr. Moocow, that it is actually 3 days later now? I really didn't anticipate how few resources I actually had. Everything I've done since I started the game was just getting the resources to build my inn. And this is completely different what I'm doing now. So yeah, I did not have what I needed. But I finally scrounged up everything I need to build my item sorter. But yeah, I haven't really looked at doing the building yet. I've got a few things for it. I did find, if I can figure out where I placed it. So many chests. I finally got my oxidized copper. This was super easy. That was all in the shop, and it was only 1 diamond for 2 stacks. And I had to do a mining session, but I did the best branch, guys. I did the best branch in a mine. Just in one branch, I got 39 diamonds. So for me, that is super rich now. So I've got tons of them. But that reminded me that I would have to do a lot more stuff, because 1 lightning strike and all these nice blue coppers turn into the regular coppers. So I've actually built a few little farms over here, and they're all temporary. So I've got a nice little bee farm, and that is getting me the wax I need. I don't think I have enough. I need 1 for every block of copper up there. So I'll have to let you guys run for a little bit longer. And just over here, this has been super useful. So rather than go mining for the stone I need for comparators and repeaters and stuff, I just made myself a nice little generator here. So I've been using that a ton and getting cobblestone out of that for all my observers and droppers. Yeah, 3 days I've been at this gathering materials, and I'm pretty sure once I start looking at what I need to build the entire building, it's going to get even worse. But, ooh, I want to show you something cool. There's those 2 ocean monuments over there, but that's nothing. There's like 5 of them really close. But yeah, there's another one. But I hadn't gone for a flight. I think it's in this direction. Look at this. There's another mushroom island. I had no idea this was here. So luckily the one I discovered was the big one. If I'd set up on this tiny one, I'd be moving right now. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So I'll either get a neighbor or I'll decide to build something out there. And so just over here somewhere is where I think I'm going to build my building. So the island's going to have a big castle up on a hill. So I need this building sort of off to the side because it's going to be in the lowlands. So around here somewhere, I think right above this canyon is where I decided to build it. So I'll have to cover all of this up. And my idea for it, so the domed building's a big round thing. I'm actually going to put the item sort of in the wall of it. So all the mechanics and the redstone is sticking out the side, and then I can cover it up later because I'll have roads going up the mountain that I'm yet to build, and I can just build a road over the top of that redstone. But it's going to be visible for the time being. And because this has all taken me so long to get all the goodies together, I'm not even going to worry about doing an interior for the build. It's going to have a mycelium floor. But anyway, that's enough talking. I want to get this video out in a couple of days, and I've got so much to do. So let's get started on the item sorter.
I know the air I'm breathing, it's no good for my lungs. I do this every season, I hate when summer comes. I fall into a trap that I made by myself, oh, and I always do the wrong thing. I'm unstable and I'm unsteady, I've lost a million times already, and I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down. I feel unable and so unworthy, my heart feels heavy, I've lost already, and I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down now. And I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down. able to slow down now. I'm always self-destructive. I take a hit, I love it. Can you give me a second? I'm slow, got blurry vision. I'll fall into a trap that I made by myself. Oh, and I always do the wrong thing. I'm unstable and I'm unsteady. I've lost a million times already. I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down. I feel unable and so unworthy. My heart feels heavy. I've lost already, and I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down now. Please help me see the things that I am. I don't understand. I'm doing the best that I can right now, but it's never enough. I'm not even ready to slow down. Just slow down. And I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down now. And I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to slow down now.
So this isn't something I planned when I was designing this, but how cool is that I can just fly straight into the building? So I was probably going to put a roof onto this, but now I don't think I will. I quite like doing that, so I think we're just going to keep this great big open space nice and big and open. So you can see we've got tons and tons of room in here, guys. I don't really know what to do with it. But what I'm thinking of doing, because I sort of put a straight wall here, I might do the same on the sides, and that gives me a little bit of redstone wiggle room in here, so hopefully I can fit a super smelter in here as well, and I'll throw in a bunch of other gadgets, like I like to have shulker box unloaders and stuff like that. And you can see I've started loading this guy up, and who knows if this is actually what it's going to look like once I start using it. So my strategy here is we've basically got two item sorters, so I can either feed items into the end here and they'll run through the whole thing, which will take forever, or I can throw some things in halfway through so they only go to the last section. So I've tried to put things in this section that I'll remember, so when I'm unloading stuff, I know to put it in there. So what I've done is I've got things of stone and wood, and that's really easy to remember because that's the name of an Australian band, Things of Stone and Wood. And then I've also thrown in nether stuff and terracotta, so hopefully I can remember that. And then this side is just everything else, like plants and mob drops, and this is a good idea, I think, of putting all the red flowers in one box and all the kind of purpley flowers in another box. And I'll have to eventually do this kind of stuff with them because it's one of those item sorters. But yeah, I'll muck around with it a bit and we'll see what I end up going with, what I end up liking. And that's the entrance I ended up going with. Pretty cool, I think. And just up the top here, I've got a little bit of a balcony. I'd sort of planned to put a doorway or something in here to get up to the top level, or from the top level to be able to get out here. But now that I'm not going to put a floor in there, I think I'll just leave this as sort of an inaccessible little balcony. So a little bit strange, but that's okay. A little bit of water up here too. And the redstone around the side here doesn't look nearly as bad as I thought it would. So it's pretty high. But what I'll have is a street coming up here, and then hopefully we can cover that up nicely. So that's it for today, guys. It's been a long week, but I'm really proud of myself. I got so much done, but now it's time to actually get to the business end of playing Minecraft. I'm going to get my trading hall all set up, get some good enchants, and then we're going to tackle one of these ocean monuments, maybe more. I might see if I can get some of my Patreons to come help me out, cannon fodder. So we'll see what happens. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'm Cortezerino, and I'll see you later.